What's up everyone, it is Captain Fizzman here. So I thought I'd never make this video. It's been a while since I've talked about this particular topic. If you haven't read the title, I will be talking about Charmed. Now, the extended look, which is a video, has dropped. Dropped about like yesterday. I have already watched it and I've already reacted to it. But I think we need to break it down because there are so many things happening within 4 minutes that kind of set the tone for the actual show itself, and there's a lot of comparison similarities to the original pilot. So if you do enjoy Charmed, hit that subscribe button for more weekly videos. Give this a big thumbs up already because we're off to a really awesome start, and yeah, let's get into it.
Always remember that. You're better together. Differences are your strengths, and nothing is stronger than your...
Okay. First of all, let's look at the thing first of all. We have the mother alive. Now, in the original pilot, the grandmother had died, so Grants had died. And so that's what started off with them getting their powers, because Grants actually bound their powers before, while they were kids. So the first difference is that we have the mother alive, I don't know for how long. So we now see that there are two sisters, so I think it's Mel and Macy. Okay, so we have Mel and Maggie. We see them both the appearance. So, but we haven't seen the third sister, which is Macy. So Mel and Maggie, we already are introduced to them. We don't know their names, but I mean, we're introduced to them. We see them on screen. Okay, let's continue.
They're all over it. Yeah, we're gonna nurture it so hard.
Okay, now we have Macy. We just saw Macy, so let's go back. So now we have Macy. With Madeline Mantock, who played Astrid in the Tomorrow Hero, who I love very much. Okay, so the mother is performing witchcraft. Okay, so the mother has said to go home, and I think that's what brings them. See, it's... Oh, God. See, in the original pilot, I mean, Prue and Piper go back to the house. They're not, like, already living in it. I mean... Alright, let's continue.
You're not looking now. Yeah, I know it's on your part.
Wait, okay, so in the original pilot, on the day when Phoebe comes home, when she reunites back with her sisters, they get their powers. So I think... Oh, okay.
Are you serious? You're so angry all the time, Mel. This is why you don't come home. You're obsessed with Mom's dad. Obsessed? Yes, obsessed. Because I'm not just moving on like nothing happened. That's not fair. Hi. I'm Macy Vaughn. I think I'm your sister.
Okay, so that means that they're not actually starting when season 1, like they're not rebooting it from season 1 happening. They've actually started it off where Prue dies, and so they bring in Paige, who is essentially the Macy counterpart of this. And so I think they're starting off with that storyline where it's the adopted sister who they never knew they had, which, I mean, it could work well, it couldn't. I mean, I'm really curious to see how they will pull it all together, but I think, okay, here we go. We finally have the power showing. So Mel, who is the Piper of, I really hate it, but they're trying to make her like who has Piper's powers. She has the power to freeze time, and so that's like they've upped their powers. They've upped their powers a lot because in the original one, Piper could only freeze objects and people. But it seems that Mel is able to literally freeze an entire room. So I think they've upped their powers a whole bunch. Like they've overpowered them. Essentially, they made them way too. They made each individual power way too strong. Like if they wanted to reboot it, I feel like they're making it like they've had these powers since the child, and they've just been manifesting to the point where they're so strong that they can actually freeze a room. Now, this in particular, we actually saw this in actual action when they go forward in time when they're trying to save Phoebe from being burnt at the stake. And so we saw Piper's powers manifested to the point where she's actually able to freeze an entire room. Everything like freezes birds, cameras, like all that stuff. So they've kind of taken that part of it, like they jumped it forward to the point where Mel's powers are able to like have manifested to the point where they're able to freeze an entire room. Whereas Piper's powers in the original, she was only able to freeze like an object or a person at one time. Alright, like I said, as they've done it with Mel's powers, they've also done it with Macy's powers, where they've completely they made them really strong. And I feel like when you're doing a reboot, it needs to go like they're starting to discover their powers, and like it's not as overpowered as what they are. Like I know they're the charmed ones, but if it wanted to, like, I'm kind of happy they haven't done it. Like they haven't literally copied it straight from the original with coming in it. But if you want to appeal to a generation, you can't have like them having like these strong freaking powers where it doesn't show the growth of it. Like I'm curious to see how they will show the growth of it, but I feel like unless it's just like this isn't just the pilot, but it's like it's like clips from each part of the season, which I mean that would make more sense, but it just feels way too. It feels like they jumped it to the point where they're these strong witches who, but it doesn't feel natural.
I'm drunk and clumsy. I should go.
No, you're not. You're a witch.
Isn't this the girl who's mom died?
Okay, here's the thing. All right, Maggie's powers. So Maggie's powers are different to Phoebe's. Okay, Phoebe had the power of premonition and precognition, whereas Maggie is able to hear people's thoughts, like what an empath does. Not like an empath hears feelings, but Maggie's able to hear thoughts. Like the original powers is supposed to be telekinesis, which we've seen in Macy, immobilization and combustion, which we might see later on, but time immobilization, which is Mel's, and Phoebe's Maggie's is the power of premonition, but we don't have premonition. We actually have hearing thoughts. So a telepath. Why a telepath? Did you think like that would make it different to the original? Like, is that the only difference that we're gonna get to what it was in the original? It's like 1 minute 50, and I've gone on like a 13-minute rant. I apologize.
There is a reasonable explanation.
Who the heck is he? Okay.
You are Charmed, the most powerful trio of witches.
This is crazy.
No.
I don't even like wearing witch costumes on Halloween. Like, not even slutty ones.
I will help you understand it all. I am an advisor to witches.
Okay, so you're a white lighter, essentially. You're essentially a white lighter. And so... See, are they ever gonna introduce the concept of white lighters? Because it won't feel like Charmed unless they have a white lighter. Now I feel like this is I don't like the idea of an advisor. Like, the advisor is good, but if you wanted to, like, the fans, like, I would have preferred a white lighter, but I feel like you guys are just pushing it way too much. An advisor who is a witch or are they a witch or a warlock? That's the thing. A male witch. Are they going to touch on the fact that a male person can a male person be a witch, or did it have to be classified as a warlock? I don't know. Continue.
Your mother bound your powers when you each were born to protect you and let you live a normal life.
There's an episode in the original series where they actually have to stop Nicholas the Warlock from basically killing them and getting their powers. So they go back in time to stop their mother from making a pact with the Warlock. And so at that episode, we actually see the children, we see the young Piper, Phoebe, and Prue with powers. So we know that. But in this series, in this video, they're saying that their mum bound the powers when they were born, which it doesn't make sense, because if their powers are bound when they were born, then how have they manifested to the point where Mel's able to freeze an entire room, Macy's able to literally throw things like 10 meters into, like, use her mind to use telekinesis to throw things in the air. Like, I don't understand. There's a continuity error, because it's a storyline error, because if the powers are bound when they were born, and they're at this, like, at that level when they've now got their powers, it just doesn't make sense.
Powers the night she was murdered.
I knew it. I knew
She was murdered, not dead. Well,
didn't fall.
Your mother's spellbook.
really? Y'all have to bring the Book of Shadows, the Triquetra. When she had a crimson. This is something my friend Victoria picked up on, but she had a crimson necklace on her. So why would you guys use the Triquetra on the Book of Shadows? Like, it doesn't even look like. It looks like a really sloppy copy of the Book of Shadows. Like, it doesn't have that feel. It doesn't have that essence of the Book of Shadows. It feels like they've tried to modernize it, which if it's a show about witches, wouldn't they actually have, like, a dusty old book? To kind of get that essence, to kind of get that feel that this book has been part of the generation for so many long times. Okay.
The Book of Shadows. Your gut
There we go, they've called it the Book of Shadows.
designed to protect the innocent and vanquish demons. You three have to decide whether you wish to accept your grisly fate.
No.
Wait, is that a spirit board? Is that a Ouija board? I feel like it's a Ouija board. Or it might just be like a really close-up shot of the Book of Shadows and the Triquetra has actually popped up.
Decide whether you wish to accept your witchly fate.
No. No way. I'm not doing this. Witches aren't real. This is our legacy. Mom wanted us to do this, and now you can.
That doesn't... This part, okay. Mel is saying that they need to do this. It's part of their legacy. But in the original, Phoebe was the one who was really excited about it. So, I mean, that is a difference, but it just... okay.
can figure out who killed her.
Looks like something in the underworld knows you three had your powers activated.
Alright, so that looks like a freaking scary demon. Like, it looks something out of Supernatural. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right.
Throughout history, strong women were called witches, and we are. We have to unite. Maybe we can use, like, once a month, never
Alright, go back. Let's go back. Alright, they're in a lab. Now, I'm going back to the original, but when it came, like, when they actually joined hands, and I think it would have been really great, and it would have been a really good like, sort of a reference, or like a homage to the original, is that if they were back in the attic, holding hands, the power of three together, that would have been awesome. But no, they're in a science lab, like, or a criminology lab. Who knows? Did she just...
We have to unite.
I really don't like the music. I need it to be like casting in now. What the heck? Did she just... Did she throw sand? What does the sand do? Alright. Where's the power of three will set you free. The power of three will set us free. The power of three will set us free. Where is that? I don't need Latin. I need English.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have shut you out. And Macy, you're not alone anymore. We're sisters. You're better together. Differences are your strengths, and nothing is stronger than your sisterhood. Always remember that.
Sean.
Alright, let's talk about this because there's so much to... First of all, what the hell? Okay? What the hell, CW? What even, like, why did you even guys do that? Like, it feels horrible, okay? The actresses, okay. If this was not a Charmed show, then it would look amazing. But there's so many things that happen, like, it doesn't make sense story-wise and first of all in continuity, because there are so many things. First of all, it doesn't have that feel. It doesn't have like that feel that Charmed gave you. It feels like a fake, okay? Don't get me wrong, the actresses, amazing, love them, but the storyline, I mean, can be worked on a bit, okay? Also, the fact that the powers are at a level where, like, they will need years and years and years and years to grow to that level. I would have loved to have seen the evolution of the powers, but jumping from the fact that they're now at this peak level where Melf is able to freeze an entire room, Macy is able to literally throw something 10 feet into a while, like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, and I'm really not happy with it. I will, okay. I probably will watch the pilot to see different, but like, the thing about it is that the pilot mentioned that there is someone who is on campus assaulting women, and that they were going to cover that. But literally there was no mention of that. There was no reference at all to that in the actual video we just watched, nor the fact that one of the girls is LGBT, so there was literally no reference to that. Like, if you're gonna do a extended look on the pilot, at least stay true to what you guys wrote, okay? Like, I understand that we may get it further along down the story, but like, it would have been good to have that introduction. I mean, anyways, there's a lot to process, a lot to kind of go through in order to actually understand this. But yeah, that's my thoughts, okay? I don't think I really am, I'm worried, okay? But then I'm also hopeful that this, as much as, like, the reboot, it looks meh. Like, I mean, if they went in a completely different direction and there weren't that, like, it kind of, I mean, if they had the original cast, then oh my god, there were so many different opportunities they could have explored. but rebooting it with this, like, at least they could have had someone in it, like a cameo by someone. Like, they didn't necessarily have to pay, like, as much as I would have loved them to play their characters. I would have loved to see one of the cast there, but no, it's not happening. Also, like, advisors, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. It's not alright, it's not okay, and I'm not gonna make it any day. I'm not gonna make it anyway. But yeah, what do you think of the extended look if you did watch it? Are you going to watch the reboot? Are you not going to? Are you gonna give it a go? Like, there's a whole campaign to stop the Charmed Reboot. Even though it has been picked up for a season, it probably will still, like, the campaign will still go on. There's a lot of fans who are really upset about this, like social media it's like going off. Okay. But yeah, let me know what you thought of it. If you do agree with my thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more videos like this and many more. I'll see you guys next time for a new video. Peace out, I love you guys. Au revoir, arrivederci, alamak, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye.
Go Anthony. Go Anthony.